In today's discussion, I would like to build upon our video on Tuesday, in which we spoke about letting go of shame. Now, one of the things that happens as a person lets go of different inaccurate, shame-based thinking patterns, they begin to appreciate how they imagine to live. Now, James Allen, he said it really well. He said, cherish your visions, cherish your ideals, cherish the music that stirs in your heart, the beauty that forms in your mind, the loveliness that drapes your purest thoughts, for out of them will grow all delightful conditions, all heavenly environments. Of these, if you but remain true to them, your world will at last be built. To desire is to obtain. To aspire is to achieve. So there we see the childlike innocence of somebody going after what they truly desire. So today I want to talk about the subtle art of appreciation. As we spoke about last week, I'll put a link in the description to that video. Our goal is to identify within ourselves what is true and in harmony with how we actually are, and let go of the thinking patterns that we could also say a bunch of them may be shame-based, to further reveal the true and accurate thinking patterns of how we are. Subtle distinctions, ways of being. Maybe a person might decide, well, I want my place set up a certain way. I want a certain shade of white on my walls, a certain shade. I want my plants placed a certain way, where it feels right. I actually want to design my place from scratch again, because I recognize that as I evolve, my tastes, what I want to experience, becomes even more nuanced. I want my outer reflecting my inner. A subtle distinction, subtle variation in tint, shade, flavor, color, sound, smell, feeling, or choice of words, as we spoke about in Tuesday's video as well. We were given the two gifts, speech and mind. And as we use these gifts wisely, we differ nothing from the immortals, which in relationship I want to discuss in regards to appreciation. A quote from classic alchemical literature, the summa perfectionis, which means the sum of perfection, the height of mastery. Now we're talking about nuance here. I'd like to make a distinction. If a person is heavily identified with shame, they may go down the pathway of what we know as perfectionism. A person doesn't accept themselves for who they are. They're looking around to see what other people are doing, and more accurately put, looking for approval in regards which is their own thinking patterns in relation to others before they decide to be how they really want to be. Maybe they express in a creative expression, art, invention. They feel it's not good enough, and there's this heavy energy surrounding it. Nuance is appreciation for the subtleties. It's a different energy. It's exploring imagination and finding higher degrees of vivid accuracy. Nikola Tesla used to go into his imagination and discover, reveal within his invention in all its nuances, in all its vivid accuracy, and allow that to express. Body is an expression of mind. We move according to that vision. We allow it to express in all its vivid, subtle distinction, accuracy, shade, sound, feeling. That's nuance. So we can feel the energy distinction there between perfectionism and nuance. So the work Summa Perfectionis is referring to nuance. Here's a quote from a translation. But human works are variously the same as natural ones, as we will show in fire, air, water, earth, minerals, trees, and animals. For the fire of natural lighting and the fire thrown forth by a stone is the same fire. The natural ambient air and the artificial air produced by boiling are both air, and the natural earth produced by letting water sit are both earth. Now, this is how the ancient alchemists saw reality. They experienced the inner and outer as one through their own inward reconciliation via the spiritual alchemy process, which I'll put a link in the description to that video. By letting go of inaccurate thinking patterns, they're able to see things for how they truly are, experience the nuances in their imagination and reflected in experience for how they truly are, in all its vivid distinction, flavor, color, sound, smell, feeling. Now, this is extremely powerful for entrepreneurs, artists, everyday life. We can look around and have a heightened degree of appreciation for the different aspects of our lives. So I want to share some examples. One of a Porsche and one of a subtle fragrance of a flower. So I have a deep appreciation for the aesthetics, the engineering, the touch, the feel, the exhilaration of driving a Porsche. I had the opportunity to rent one for 4 months when I was in Los Angeles. And it was an exhilarating experience in which the car taught me many things about nuance and appreciation. There's a certain distinct smell of a Porsche. One of my business partners, actually, he's buying one. And I encouraged him to do so because we spoke about appreciating achievements. The joy of enjoying the fruits of what you create for others. Certainly, we create products and services that benefits the lives of others. And in fair mutual exchange, we receive compensation. And we have the opportunity to enjoy this compensation. Buy the car that we want. Live in the house that we want. Have the kind of life experiences that we desire. And I mentioned through the appreciation of owning this car, it will teach you many things, because when we look at the artists, the architects, the engineers that were involved with putting together this car in all its vivid accuracy and detail and precision, the smell, the sound, the feeling, the color, the precision and placement of the parts that facilitate an ecstatic experience. I mentioned, how much will this stimulate you, inspire you to serve others at a deeper degree? Now, the same is to be said about plants. And one of my ways of appreciation, like I have an appreciation for human ingenuity and great work expressions in the innovation, the arts, etc., I have that same appreciation for nature. I don't distinguish one being better than the other. The alchemists saw it all as one. We have the opportunity to go into imagination and produce in the exact same way that nature receives from the same source and expresses itself in all its divine perfection. And so what I love to do is plant seeds and go through the entire process till the plant flowers, and appreciate and experience, have a conversation with the plant in which it reveals, teaches me so many things which I can take and infuse in my own innovation, in these videos, in conversations with others, to further encourage the nuance and subtleties. Again, let's reflect back on this quote here. They say the human works are variously the same as natural ones, as we will show in fire, air, water, earth, minerals, trees, and animals. So we can say all is in harmony and in contribution to your definite chief aim, your vision, your goal, and you are in harmony and in contribution to all. Normally I say all people are in harmony and in contribution to your goals, your visions, your definite chief aims, and vice versa. They show up in interesting ways to contribute both ways. The same is to be said about plants, animals, nature, fire, air, water, earth, minerals, trees. All are in harmony and in contribution to your vision. And your vision is in contribution and in harmony with the minerals, trees, and animals, people, etc. Now, in the Master Key System by Charles Haanel, he refers to this as an exercise in imagination. As mentioned, I do this in my imagination, and I also do this via the five sensory experience. By appreciating invention, arts, innovation, dance, music, literature, especially these works like the Master Key System, Summa Perfectione, which are put together by individuals that have reconciled the inner and outer to such a degree that they see and experience it all as one. As I mentioned many times, I see the sixth sense and the five senses as one. They're expressions and reflections of each other. So in the Master Key System, he has this exercise, which if you haven't watched my video that I've done recently on the different exercises in the Master Key System for imagination, I recommend watching the video. So we could do this in our imagination, and we can also do this in nature. I recommend both because I've experienced the benefits of doing both at the same time. Plant a tiny seed, water it, care for it. Place it where it will get direct rays of the morning sun. See the seed burst. It is now a living thing, something which is alive and beginning to search for the means of substance. See the roots penetrating the earth. Watch them shoot out in all directions, and remember that they are living cells dividing and subdividing, and that they will soon number millions, that each cell is intelligent, that it knows what it wants and knows how to get it. See the stem shoot forward and upward. Watch it burst through the surface of the earth. See it divide and form branches. See how perfect and symmetrical each branch is formed. See the leaves begin to form and the tiny stems, each one holding aloft a bud. And as you watch, you see the bud begin to unfold and your favorite flower comes to view. And now if you concentrate intently, you will become conscious of a fragrance. It is the fragrance of the flower, as the breeze gently sways the beautiful creation which you have visualized. So as mentioned, I enjoy this exercise in imagination. And I've done this with a number of seeds now, because I've been living here for a while, which I planted into a pot and observed this process. It has allowed me to discover even more nuances of appreciation in my imagination. And this is the power of the subconscious mind. We have the meaning, the answers, the insights, and perspectives within ourselves. We let go of the inaccurate thinking patterns, as we discussed in the video last week, which I'll put a link in the description too, so we can have a deeper appreciation for the nuances of life. And this is tremendously helpful and inspirational for our arts, for our entrepreneurial journey, our life paths, personal life, business life. So I would even encourage you to take what I'm sharing over here and find your own variation for this. What are the different ways you can apply this information? Stimulate your visions and creativity into higher degrees of clarity. Encourage even more nuance of experiences in your imagination and life, and appreciate. This is the subtle art, the nuanced art of appreciation that we're talking about here, which we shall further discuss in the upcoming videos. So again, let's reflect upon this quote here. He says, cherish your visions, cherish your ideals, cherish the music that stirs in your heart, the beauty that forms in your mind, the loveliness that drapes your purest thoughts, for out of them will grow all delightful conditions, all heavenly environment. Of these, if you but remain true to them, your world will at last be built. To desire is to obtain. To aspire is to achieve. And all expression from this premise and the encouraging of your imagination and the appreciation for all the wisdom that surrounds you right now further encourages your vision, stimulating even more nuanced distinction, subtle variation, color, sound, smell, feeling, choice of words, which can take and facilitate inner conversations. And let's do that with an autosuggestion to further encourage. We can say, every day I appreciate the nuances of who I am. I allow it to express as appreciation for all aspects of my life, which includes the flavors, sounds, colors, smells, and feeling of invention, innovation, and nature. I see them all as one, as outer is a reflection of the inner. Upon deeper appreciation and encouragement of the reality in my mind's eye, I'm able to see things for how they truly are, and that human works done from the perspective of love are the same exact replica of the natural ones in all its vivid accuracy and subtle variation and distinction. If you would like a copy of this mind map, the link is in the description. Thank you very much for watching. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.